Hi everyone, Jesse with some astrology coming up for the new moon that is going to be in Aries, April 1st, 1:24 a.m. Central Time. So the peak of this new moon will probably be Thursday night for those of you who want to do rituals or honor this new moon in a very special way, because this is the potent seed portal for the astrological new year. It's a very potent time to set your intentions and tune into your creativity and your dreams and the things that you'd like to really charge with this energy of spring. So I have heard, though, that the 3 days around the new moon, the day before, the day of, and the day after, also, you can use that whole window. So it's coming up. Here's what we got going on here. The sun and moon are together at 11:31 in Aries. And you can see that there is a cluster of energies here in Aries. Mercury is joining the party here at 9:44, and Chiron, the wound, is just at 12:15, right after that sun and moon. So the wound becomes the way. And with the sun getting ever closer to Chiron coming up this weekend, be mindful of the ways in which the wound is being stimulated in your own life, the primal wound, or any areas that are coming up for review, old wounds, and the wound becomes the way. When we go deep into the wound rather than running from it or medicating or falling into avoidance patterns, if we can really sit with the wound and go through that doorway, we can find the medicine that's needed and the way in which we can be wounded healers and be of service to others by making our wound conscious. So this particular new moon is going to be very important to practice being with it, sitting with it. Sun and moon are on a degree in Aries that reads a flock of white geese. And geese can be symbols of loyalty and community, and the way in which we work together, that we're stronger. This has to do also with the power of spiritual community to really make a powerful difference in the world. So moving beyond some of the polarity and duality energies that have been coming up in the past few years would do us really well, especially with Mercury here helping connect humanity back to those divine realms, helping bring wisdom to how we can speak about the wounds, so that we can find our true spiritual community again. Chiron at 1 degree beyond that, the Sabian degree for Chiron is a bomb which failed to explode is safely hidden from discovery. So the placement of Chiron here right now has to do with diffusing situations. So if you've been feeling like there's some explosive energy, and certainly there has been on the world stage, the wound is asking for us to be mindful of that which might feel explosive and to bring the medicine to diffuse it. The danger with this degree is that maybe you're concealing too much of the emotional inner world and stuffing things and repressing emotions, or even not defining the anger. So it might feel like I don't know why I'm angry. So the ability to do the inner processing and to find that anger is not the first emotion, right? Underneath anger is often sadness or other things. So the caution is to not even be aware of the deeper emotions. And the encouragement is to do that deep inner work and let the sun and moon start to illuminate and purify what is really going on below, so we can get a fresh start. right, I'm going to try to keep this shorter. So let's move on to some other features here in the astrology chart. Across from sun and moon is the midheaven and Hera. So that means that above the sky at this exact new moon portal is Hera, who is the goddess of sacred marriage. And she is kind of bringing her energy, looking down and seeing about this balance. I think too, with this degree being about community and spiritual community, Hera at the midheaven is really coming forth with that divine feminine wisdom to bring balance into these relationships within the communities. Another cluster we have going on is Mars, Saturn, Juno, and Venus here at the moving towards the last degrees of Aquarius. So there's a little more space between Mars and Venus finally, so maybe some breathing room. Those two traveling together has been very intense. Mars here, starting to conjunct Saturn, could really bring some warrior energy to the fixed structures in the air. So literally seeing bombers flying through the sky. Venus and Juno here are holding out for the balance of the feminine as well. And this particular cluster is making a square to the North Node, where we have asteroid Lilith, who is the rage of the feminine for any dishonoring of the earth in the very last degrees of Taurus, and the North Node of destiny here, calling for our awareness of liberation on earth, fairness and justice on earth. And you can see that tension in the two aspects of the feminine between the Venusian goddess of justice, who would like peace on the airwaves, and Lilith on earth, the rage of the goddess, bringing up the tension of, but this isn't balanced yet. So those energies coming up for this new moon. Another square is happening between two feminine energies is Vesta at 10 exact degrees Aquarius, squaring Uranus and Taurus and the asteroid Hecate, the triple goddess. And Hecate and Uranus are almost exactly exact. So Uranus is going to be sending out electrical information, electrical genius downloads. Hecate is a divine feminine figure who was known to work both sides. She worked for the light and she worked for the dark. She was known as a goddess of the crossroads, a goddess of the torch, the triple goddess, and also the crone aspect of the feminine. So the square is between the crone aspect of the darker feminine and Vesta's sacred fires in Aquarius. So Vesta's kind of clearing up, I think, what's gone on in Aquarius and bringing some sacred fire to the airwaves. And Hecate is here with Uranus right now, and Lilith here in Taurus, working to really bring balance to the earth element, or even the flesh, the embodied experience on earth, making sure that what we make fixed in the air is in right relationship to what is truly fixed in our sacred bodies and in the sacred elements on earth. The trine here, which is connecting very easily this cluster here, especially with Venus and Juno with Black Moon Lilith. So Black Moon Lilith is the void in the sky, the cosmic yoni of the Great Mother, and Venus here in the last degrees of Aquarius, making that air trine. So helping facilitate the Divine Mother's wisdom in the airwaves. And Vesta here is making a trine with Hera, so another feminine duo that is flowing together. Sacred fires in the air with Hera in Libra. And I'm going to connect Hera and Aries here. I think these asteroids are creating a grand air trine, helping bring balance to the crowns of our heads by bringing feminine wisdom to the airwaves, as Hera and the midheaven are making a trine with Ceres in Gemini. Ceres is Demeter and the goddess of nurturing, the goddess of grain. So maybe more nurturing thoughts are being available, more thoughts about how we can flow with sacred fire and sacred union coming more online in the airwaves. So there's that grand air trine here, connecting all of this energy to flow through this new moon portal. Some sextiles happening are with this cluster of Mars, Saturn, Juno, and Venus down here. And over here with Aries, Aries, the goddess of chaos. So the chaos is supporting the Venusian airwaves. So sometimes if things have been too fixed in the air and it's not in alignment, Aries is going to come along and throw her golden apple and just break some stuff up so that we can find a more harmonious, balanced outcome. We also have a very important conjunction coming up here. These are definitely affecting each other and aspecting each other now. So wherever your Pisces house is, this is where you're going to be experiencing this. Jupiter is moving ever closer to Neptune. They're going to be exact on April 12th. The positive aspect of Jupiter conjunct Neptune could be a spiritual enlightenment, or truly finding that transcendent liberation, enlightenment, enlightenment for humanity, humanity's awakening. The dark side of that could be being tricked by deeper and deeper illusions and distractions. Jupiter and Neptune come together about every 12 or 13 years, and they come together in Pisces about every 150 years. So this is a very important conjunction that will be kind of setting off a tone of spirituality for the next 150 years or so of humanity. So be sure to use this conjunction mindfully to really find the truth of our own souls and our soul's liberation, and be mindful of the tricks and the illusions that may be distracting us from that particular journey. Jupiter and Neptune are making a sextile, supporting structure here with Lilith and the North Node. So this particular aspect is helping us hit our destiny, as well as Lilith is also helping hit the destiny. So that's an interesting thing to consider, how the feminine, rebellious feminine, or the rejected feminine, as Lilith is considered to be Adam's first wife, is helping us hit the mark. All right, Sun and Moon are also sextiling Ceres. So Ceres, the mother god, adding some nurturing support here to the places that were wounded and to being that sacred community. So look for that divine feminine nurturing support coming through to help make some bridges in the community. And finally, I wanted to share that I'm offering a new service to anyone who wants to join I have the time here, but I think my window is covering it up. On the new moon, right before the new moon, Thursday night at 7 o'clock on March 31st, you can go to my website, taraloma.com, and join me for a new moon yoga, where we'll set intentions and do some mantras and really try to embody through our practice our intentions for this new moon and this new astrological year. So I'd love to have you join me. All right, let me stop sharing this and finish with card reading. I'm going to use my traditional deck today. I just ask Creator to bless this reading and use this reading for the highest and best good of all. We ask for divine guidance on what is the situation at hand that we need to be aware of, the first card. The second card, action or advice to move away from, action not to take. And then the third card would be advice on action to take. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. So the first card is, oh, let's look at a card. All right, Wheel of Fortune in the right position. So we have the balance of the 4 major signs, the 4 fixed elements, and Torah is here. It's kind of the wheel that moves, and there's some boon, there's some blessing here. There's a lot of good energy and balance, and an opportunity to be very fortunate. So reminds me of the mantra I've been doing to Lakshmi, who is able to help us in our abundance. Her mantra is Om Aim Kleem Shreem Om Mahalakshmi Anya Namaha. So we can create those circles of protection around us by doing different mantra practices to really call in whatever circle of protection that we might need in order to have that abundance, so that we can fuel the spiritual work that needs to be done in the communities. So may our spiritual communities be aligned for our highest and best good, and may we be divinely funded and supported in all ways to be successful. All right, first card. Second card is action not to take, things to avoid. Oh, it's very interesting. Another major arcana card. Very interesting to think about this as like action not to take. The Magician. The Magician has mastery over all of the elements. The Magician is able to work with eternal energies. So maybe the advice, I would see it as, the Magician is acting and using this energy in a yang way to kind of command on the elements. And maybe the advice is to take it easy a little bit, to rest, to be more yin. And the advice for action to take. Also another major arcana card. That's 3. So here we have the Empress reversed. Oh, these are interesting to think about. So it's also Venus reversed. So it could be like Venus as battle goddess. The Empress is truly connected to nature. She's in the forest here. She's reposed, and that's that more yin of the feminine. Empress reverse could mean really exploring some of the, Lilith energy, Hecate energy. That might what we might see as shadow feminine, and seeing how when the feminine is being active, or when she is showing more of her shadow sides, that she's not necessarily evil, but she's calling us into greater consciousness, so that we can truly enjoy the right relationship with the earth. So very interesting cards here. Our present situation, advice for action to take, Empress reverse, and advice for action to avoid. So I think really a call to reconnect with the feminine as the anima, or the soul, and what the soul and humanity might be experiencing as we've neglected the feeling aspects and the more invisible or tender aspects of ourselves. A call to get more in touch with that energy, pull away a little bit from being that active in the world, commanding, and reconnect here with the soul, with the feminine energies within, and that this is our fortune. Our soul is what is most of value. All right. That is the astrology update. I wish you all many blessings on this new moon. And again, I'd love to have you join me for yoga on Thursday night. And I'd also be honored to draw up your chart, a partner chart, and help introduce you to a little bit of your astrology. Just contact me at taroloma.com. Many blessings.